Welcome back to the journey as we continue to explore the spiritual practices, these disciplines that help us grow in our spiritual walk with God. We come today to the challenging conversation of fasting. And maybe like I am, you struggle with the idea of fasting, this idea that you're going to do some activity that's uncomfortable. I'm not a fan of fasting. I like to eat. I like the flavor of food. I don't enjoy feeling hungry. I consider this topic of fasting and the importance of it, and that it's mentioned throughout Scripture. I realize something about fasting. I realize why I don't like the idea of practicing fasting. When I choose not to eat, I am telling my body I am not going to listen to what it thinks it wants. You know, we know from science that the body can handle days, if not weeks, without food. And yet my mind and my body declare this need is supreme. It is greater than anything else. I need food. God gives us this opportunity to choose fasting as a surrender, a humbling of ourselves in a way that God then can speak to us and interact with us. Here, this unwanted, this disliked discipline of fasting is becoming a popular fad in the self-help part of our society of helping yourself out by fasting. It seems like there's always a almost but not quite counterfeit that comes out when it comes to spiritual things. You're almost doing the activity that God has intended or has developed for us to help us, but not exactly, because you're still controlling it. And so there's a lot of fasting activities and practices that are simply for health purposes or cleansing the body purposes, and yet they're missing that beautiful component, the spiritual component of connecting us to God in a special way. Now, I don't think going and just having a ritual practice of fasting where it's once a week or, twice a week is necessarily what God is asking for. God is inviting us into special opportunities for special circumstances to enter into fasting, to allow us to just direct our minds completely to God. But I want you, when times come that maybe it's times of celebration, times of great concern, where you want to focus your mind on Christ, choosing to not eat, to step away from food for a day, or maybe it's just an 8-hour period or a 12-hour period, allows your brain to focus fully on God. Where you say, I'm setting aside my focus on food. And for a lot of us, especially here in North America, food is a big deal. Food becomes the central theme of a lot of our focus. And just consider what that means. If that's my central focus is food, maybe that's what I need to give up to God a little bit, a little more often. Say, God, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't know I don't really want to do this, but you are in control and I'm not. And that's what a lot of our spiritual disciplines that we practice are all about. Whether it's prayer and learning to be silent and listen for God, whether it's meditation where I'm focusing on God and not myself, whether it's now here fasting where I'm not going to focus on my next meal and my food and what I love about it and savor and almost worship the food I consume. Instead, I'm going to say, God, I'm going to give that to you. I'm going to focus on you. So if you're going to be fasting, I encourage you to fast with a focus on God, not on just cleansing yourself and getting yourself better, but literally take advantage of that time to spend it with God. Spend it asking God to open up to you a new experience with Him. Let's keep going on this journey. I hope you are being blessed. I know it's challenging my spiritual experience just to re-examine each of these practices, these beautiful disciplines that draw us closer to God.